Shalom, it's Rabbi Jenny Solomon at Beth Meyer Synagogue with a Mincha moment. So this week we open a new book of the Torah, Bamidbar, which means in the wilderness. So the English name of this book of the Torah is the Book of Numbers. But I think that the Hebrew name, Bamidbar, in the wilderness, is so much more apt. It comes from the very first verse of this book, of our weekly Torah portion, in which it says that God spoke to Moshe, to Moses, Bamidbar Sinai, in the Sinai desert, or in the Sinai wilderness. And our commentators and our sages and our teachers over thousands of years have asked the question again and again in different ways, why the wilderness? Why is it that that God gives the Torah, most specifically, in the Sinai wilderness? In just about a week, we are going to celebrate the holiday of Shavuot, in which we commemorate receiving the Torah at Mount Sinai once again. And so this is very much on my own mind and my own heart. You know, we are all moving through the wildernesses of our lives. Most of our lives are spent in the wilderness. And we are certainly moving through a wilderness as a people, and in many ways we could say a wilderness for the human community. And I am just touched and moved every time I consider why it is that the wilderness is a place for receiving revelation. And I have my own thoughts about this, but things that I'm thinking about right now are the fact that, you know, it's usually our moments of deep challenge, our moments of great uncertainty, where the path before us is unclear, where we're met with all sorts of difficulties, where we get lost, that we actually learn the most. It's an inconvenient truth. I wish that weren't the case. As a parent, I say this to my kids all the time, like, I just hate that usually the best way to learn something is by making a mistake or failing or getting lost or getting hurt. But so it is. I think the wilderness also calls upon us to remember that none of us can do it alone. As we're navigating uncharted territories, we are required to lean into other people, to lean into community, to lean in hopefully to our source, our divine, however you understand God in your own life, self, sort of capital S. And we're called to lean into qualities of ourselves that need cultivation, that need strengthening. And it's in this challenge and difficulty, actually, that we learn what we need for the next steps of the journey. So wherever you are in the wilderness, first of all, just a reminder, you're not alone, but also a reminder that that this is actually where the greatest Torah is received. It's not usually in the most pleasant, easy, pre-scripted, and certain paths, but really the opposite. And so perhaps that's part of what we celebrate on Shavuot while we're eating our cheesecake. We open ourselves up to the wisdom that is calling to us, to the learning that will guide us, to the voice that will remind us who we are and who we are becoming. And we do that even and maybe especially in those most difficult and uncertain places and times. And we do it together. So wishing everybody a good week of Bamidbar and also continued strength as we complete the counting of the Omer and celebrate Shavuot next week in the wilderness. Shalom. Peace.